Hi, everybody. Okay, I know I've been gone for an extremely long time, but nonetheless, I unfortunately have some bad news to share with all of you regarding the Gunpla community and YouTube in general. You may know about this, you may not know about this, but it's been a fairly recent development that now YouTube is going about some very extremely important changes regarding how they organize and label videos and channels, and that could have an extremely detrimental impact on us as video creators, and especially here in the Gunpla YouTube community. Basically, the nutshell of what's going on here is as follows. A while ago, YouTube was hit with a very serious lawsuit of $170 million or so because they and Google, their ad revenue service, had been targeting children through some of the content that was on YouTube that was directed to kids, like, toy reviews or things regarding like Disney cartoons or anything like that, where kids are definitely a directed target. Kids watched those videos and their personal information was gathered by advertisements or through the ad revenue system. Because of this, a branch of the government known as the FTC and several child advocacy groups gathered together and filed a lawsuit against YouTube for $170 million. And that now has created a serious problem for us, video makers. Because, putting aside all the legal jargon and crap about that, we are now faced with a choice of one or two options. And those options are: you mark your channel or some specific set of your videos as either made for kids or targeted towards kids, or not targeted towards kids. Now, if you choose to say that your videos are not targeted towards kids, generally speaking, nothing would happen regarding your channel or your videos. However, if YouTube or the FTC looks at your channel or your videos, and they've promised that they're going to do sweeps and use their, automated bots and systems to look for things on YouTube that they think is a problem. And if they find your videos or your channel and they decide, when you've marked your videos as not for kids, but they think that your videos are for kids, your video can be removed, your channel can be removed, and you can be fined for any amount of money up to or including something like $42,000 per video that they feel is an offense to the regulations they've put in place. So then you might be thinking, well, that's too big of a risk. So what if I just say all my videos are made for kids? Well, don't be hasty here, because if you do mark your channel or videos as made for kids, I don't even remember everything that'll happen, but here are some of the worst ones. Your monetization dips by 90%, because no longer will there be any personalized ads, which are the basis for most YouTubers' revenue. Your videos are also not searchable anymore. Your subscribers will not receive notifications anymore. There are no comments on your videos. And I don't even think they can like them, add them to playlists. There's no infographics, there's no links, there's no timestamps, there's no end caps, nothing. It's effectively saying that your channel no longer has any power whatsoever. It can't reach people, it can't do anything, except for the people who already know you are there and will then in good faith come back to your channel time from time to see what you have uploaded. That's the cost. But at that rate, some of us might be in a situation where that's the safer option. Because who among us can afford lawsuits with the federal government and fines from the federal government for really any amount of money that they want to conjure up, effectively? And don't get me wrong, but I think in a way the government has a point, because YouTube and Google were doing something incredibly wrong by taking and manipulating personal data of children when they said that the laws at hand were not applicable to them because they claimed YouTube was not designated for children, but for people 13 and older. Technically that's correct, but they knew that there was a huge revenue pool for content that was geared towards children specifically, and they didn't care. So in the process, many millions of kids' personal information through browsing data and cookies became, public in some way or another, and therefore they were at risk of being victimized by potential predators or malicious ad programs or whatever. And YouTube didn't care. And I've always taken an issue with Google and YouTube having their entire business model based on ad revenue. And this is an exact good reason why. And YouTube is the one who is saying that we have to now make Sophie's choice between not for kids or made for kids. Because the FTC actually recognizes that there is content on YouTube that qualifies as general audience content. And that could mean things like a review of a Gundam model kit, let's say, where, yeah, the product at hand could be argued as though it is intended for a kid, because at the end of the day, they'll see it as a toy. But if you present your subject matter in a way that isn't designed for children, there's the possibility that it wouldn't be viewed as made for children. But that requires an understanding of context and specifics, and requires intricate viewing of the material at hand and understanding where it lies on a spectrum. YouTube isn't allowing that. They're just saying you're made for kids or you're not, because they don't want to offer a third option, either because it costs them money or it allows a loophole to exist where anybody could just say, well, it's general audience, and then avoid the entire situation entirely, and then they're back at square one. And I get that, but it's also putting us into a place of victimhood. Especially us in a Gunpla YouTube community. We're essentially building, playing with, and reviewing toys. Where do you draw the line on that? I mean, there are criteria in place here that are vague and very hard to adhere to. Things like certain words, like cool or hip or whatever, target words that they think are targeting kids. Bright colors, toys, breakfast cereals, snack foods, The usage of cartoon characters or celebrities who would appeal to children. There's a whole document and series of faxes that go into some of the criteria by which you would judge your own videos and make a call on whether they are one way or another. But it's still so vague because those particular things, like, for example, breakfast cereal, I mean, grown-ups eat breakfast cereal. They could talk about breakfast on their channel, but then maybe that makes them liable to being marketing towards kids. But clearly the rest of the video doesn't indicate that that's their target audience. But is the FTC going to know or care? Is YouTube going to know or care? We're dealing with some really scary stuff here because we're just on that bleeding edge between criterias. And I don't know where exactly we fall. And I can't guarantee or trust that anybody in the FTC is going to know the difference. I don't think they're going to get it. I mean, they might. But is that worth risking thousands of dollars of financial litigations and going to court to defend you yourself and your channel and your videos? Is it worth it? I don't think so. You'd probably spend more in court fees, legal fees, just defending yourself than the actual amount they're fining you. And I don't know. I mean, every bit of this has me worried. I mean, especially for people like Mecha Guy Kotsu, Henry McClellan, G8259, Jabman, Prime 92. They are good examples of people who effectively could be slammed by stuff like this. Too Old for Toys. He builds, every once in a while, he'll do videos where he builds kits with his son. And, his voice is in the background. The kid's voice is in the background. And it's like a father-son sort of thing. So it could be construed as saying, like, here, look at the toy. His name is Too Old for Toys. That in itself could put him at risk. Just the name of his channel. And the content in it could very easily be construed as intended for kids. But one thing that I'm not sure about here is how any of this applies to those of us who may not be monetized as a channel. They may still decide they want to come after us, but I don't know if they have any teeth in that situation because our videos aren't earning revenue. Not like targeted ad revenue. Like, we're not, like my channel, for example, as many as you know, I don't have a lot of ads on any of the videos that I make. If they have ads at all, it's probably because I've thrown some music in or something like that. And they've just said, well, you're still allowed to keep the video, but we're going to put ads in it so that the respective members of the music or whatever you've added gets a little piece of the earnings here or something. At any rate, I don't know where that falls in line with all these regulations. So it's really tricky for me to know how this is going to affect the people that actually don't seek to use YouTube as a career. That's what I'm confused about, and it puts me at worry about how things are going to proceed from here for any of us. Now, these rules and everything really take effect January 1st of next year, 2020. Until then, we've got a chance to talk to the FTC, and people have been doing so. This has been a growing issue that more and more people are becoming aware of, and in that, the FTC has opened a channel for public comment. There are ways you can do this. I actually first really learned about this from a pair of videos, which I'll link in my video description below. You can watch them in the order I watched them. And you'll kind of get an idea of how I came to know about the situation. But at any rate, where do we go from here? I don't know. I don't want to think that this has to be the end of my channel. I mean, I know that sounds a little hypocritical or weird because I don't really post a lot here very often, and I have to apologize for that. It's just been strange series of life events, some of which I'd like to talk about sometime in the future if I don't delete my channel, but I don't know if I might have to. I just don't know. I don't think it's necessary, but with lawsuits and things like that hanging over my head, even as a 1% chance of a possibility, I don't know if I want to risk it. I just don't know. But this is still going on. It's still being negotiated and talked about between the government and the public and YouTube. And I don't think we're completely settled into exactly how things are going to be moving forward. But as of this video's posting, here's the situation we're in, and it's not looking good. And you need to be aware, and you need to protect yourself and take whatever steps you can to at least ensure that the worst possible outcomes don't happen for you. And I don't know how to advise any of you specifically on what to do. That's something that you're going to probably have to speak with a lawyer about if it's really that serious. Some lawyers that are on YouTube have made videos. Like I said, I've watched some, and I can share them in the links, descriptions below. But yeah, I mean, this is really bad, guys, and I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen to my channel. I don't know what's going to happen to your channel, and I'm worried. I'm legitimately worried about all of us. That's really all I have to say. I just wanted to share a warning with everybody just to make sure you're aware of this. Because I don't know. I don't know how many people know. There's not a lot of people in our community that I know are even talking about it. But I think we should. At the very least, being informed can't hurt. So I'm hoping this blows over. I'm hoping this isn't as big a deal as they say it is, but I kind of doubt it. If I ever do come back with a decision on my channel, if I'm leaving or deleting a lot of videos or something, I'll come back and I'll make a note of it. But until then, I don't know what to say. I'm really sorry to share this all with you guys, but this is just where we're at right now. Anyway, I'll stop rambling, but I hope you guys take care of yourselves, and I wish you all the best of luck. I hope this all works out. So, thanks for watching. Bye, everybody.